if I can get us pulled up where I can see comments. There we go. All right, let's check out YouTube. Are you up yet? Not yet. And there's TikTok. There we are. Good deal. All right, so how is everybody? Hey, Shelby. Hello, how are you? I got the thing so far away. I'm going to have to watch here on my computer. Hey, Julie. Hey, Tatiana and Jess. Thank you guys all for being here. I appreciate it. And let me see if YouTube's up yet. There it goes. All right. Well, as you come in, be sure and let me know that you're there. Say hello. And if you're a first-time viewer, be sure and let me know where you're from. And if you're on YouTube or TikTok and you've got a funky username, let me know what your real name is. I really like to get to know everybody. Hey, Jess, how are you? There's Lorena. Good deal. All right. Well, I have to tell you, I wasn't going to go live today because if I don't get our house finished decorating, I'm probably going to get kicked out of my home. But I thought I've got to make some bows anyway for some pieces that I wanted to change out. So I thought, what better opportunity than to go ahead and go live here and show you what I'm going to do. So I'm going to adjust you guys on TikTok here a minute. Let me see if I can. There we go. But let me show what we're going to do here. I've got this. Well, actually, I've got two pieces. I've got this. It's kind of a country birdhouse that I dressed it up. I always like to, anytime I use something store-bought for my own home, I like to dress it up and make it our own. And as you can see, I've had a buffalo check theme going on in our home, and I was just tired of it. So I wanted to change it out. And now this year, in this particular room, this is going to be in our family room. This year, I'm going to call it our compromise theme. I started out, I wanted to do the red and white candy cane theme in our living room also, which you guys probably saw the formal dining room is in a candy cane theme, and that's all I've gotten done so far, you guys. But I started doing that in our living room, and I could tell my husband was just not having it. And so I asked him about it, and there's a certain reason why he doesn't want that done in in the room where he spends most of his time. So I decided I was going to go with a kind of a black and white check, and then I've got some red velvet through the tree. And it actually, the black and white check ended up being a houndstooth, which I wasn't crazy about, but it was the only black and white check I had in a 4-inch that wasn't buffalo check. So, so anyway, long story short, I got a little bit of it done, and he wanted it just done. I had the ribbon on, and I think a couple of ornaments, and he wanted me to just leave it, which I couldn't do that. But it's not over the top like I usually do, and this piece is still going to work in there. So, like I said, I wanted to change out this buffalo check bow that I had at the base of this, and I thought I'll go ahead and show you how I'm going to do this. And then I've got another piece here too that also goes in the same room that we're going to change out that bow too. So, and I'm just planning on just doing red velvet. Like I said, I don't have any more of the black and white houndstooth that's not 4-inch, and that'd be certainly too large for this piece. So we're just going to go with a 1.5-inch red velvet, and I'm going to go ahead and show you how I'm going to do that. So let me see who else here. Hey, Susan, how are you? Oh, thank you, Jean. How are you? Oh, my goodness, got lots of people over on TikTok. Thank you all for being here. I really appreciate it. And let's see who we got on YouTube. Hey, Vanita and Barbara. from New York. I bet it's chilly up there right now. It's pretty cool here. So, all right, so let's go ahead and get started. Now, as I said, we're going to be using the 1.5 inch red velvet. And I like to, unless I'm making a bow that I need very specific measurements in, I usually hand make my bows. I mean, you can still make a pretty exact exact size bow, use handmade too, but I just prefer to do it this way. It's the way I started, and that's just the way I like to keep doing it. And I want it to sit right here at the base, right here at the base of this. And I could put a bow up in here too, but I don't know. I felt like I needed to bring some of this brighter red down here to the foot of it, so I decided just to put it there. But you could put it both places. And I'm just going to, let me see if I can pull this over so everybody can see. And one of the questions I get asked all the time is, how do you know how big of a bow to use? And I'll show you, this is exactly the way I do it. I bring my bow up to the piece, and depending on what else is going on with it, this is pretty large up here, so I don't want a little dinky bow down here, even though this little piece down here is small. So I'm going to kind of hit medium size, and I just eyeball it, just like this. And I'm thinking I want something about this size, so that's about a 5-inch bow loop. And I'm going to make make a few loops, and then I'll go back and I'll resize it again and see if I need to make any adjustments. So all I've done, I'm going to keep my loop that I've got right now. Okay. Now I'm going to take it and pinch it. Now, if you watched last week, this is going to be a little bit different than well, last week we did where you closed in the center, and I do this bow a little bit differently. So anyway, I've got that pinched. I'm going to take it and I'm going to twist it. And the reason I twist it, I'm going to be working front to back, and I want to be able to see the right side of the ribbon. There's a right side and there's a wrong side. I don't know if you can see that on camera, but there's like a satiny side and a velvet side. I want the velvet side showing. And when you twist, make sure you twist it 180 degrees, where you don't have it buckled up here by the twist. Okay? All right, now I'm going to take it back to the back. I'm going to pinch it. And at this point, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to see, am I pretty even on my bow loops? Just like that. Here's what it looks like backwards. Okay, but, all right, now I'm going to take it and I'm going to twist it. I'm thinking I'm going to need at least probably 6 bow loops, 3 on either side. But I twisted it again. Now, if you wanted to, that'd be real cute too. Just sitting that at the base of this. Whoops. I'm going to probably drop this. I grabbed it with the wrong hand. But anyway, if you wanted to just leave this like this, that'd be real cute too. And this would be a real cute way to make a bow for a gift also, just making 2 little loops like this. All right, now I've already twisted it, so the right side of the ribbon is facing outward. I'm going to take this loop right to the back. I'm going to pinch it. And again, I'm going to compare my loops here. I already know this one is pretty comparable to this one. So if this one is comparable, then I can just do this, right? Okay, now I've got the wrong side of the ribbon showing again, so I'm going to take it and twist it. Okay, so I've got the velvet side is facing me again. I'm going to take it back to the back. And you guys too, I didn't say this before, but if you have a way to hand make your bows and it works for you, by all means keep doing that. Everybody has their own methods, and there's not one single right way to make a bow. All right, I'm just going to keep repeating that process, get a little bit more ribbon off of here. Now, one thing I wanted to show you, too, see where my ribbon is now? I'm not holding it out here on the tips of my fingers. I've got it's starting to drift back here to the meat of my palm, and I'm actually pretty much putting each of these loops as I twist it in. They don't have to be stacked just exactly right on top of each other, and that's going to allow you not to have painful hands. I mean, you might have sore hands if you already have problems, but you know, I have problems with my hands, and I don't have problems holding this. I can sit here and hold this like this all day, for two reasons. Number one, I'm letting this drift back. Number two, I don't have a death grip on it. Okay, I am just barely holding that. Just if I wanted to, I can pull that out real easily, but I'm just holding it tight enough to where my loops are not going to slip. Okay, all right, so I'm just going to keep repeating this process until the bow gets about as large as I want it. So I just brought that loop up to the back again. I'm going to pinch it. I'm going to twist it. Okay, I'm going to bring it back to the back again. Okay, now I've got my 6 loops. I'm going to go ahead and twist it. And I'm going to come down here. I'm going to try it on for size. Let's see if you guys can all see. Okay, I'm just going to try it on for size. Now, I'm not switching. Here's another thing, too. You try to keep your ribbon all in the same hand that you're working on. Like this, this hand is my feeding hand. This one is the one that's holding the bow. I'm not switching it back and forth. Okay. I got to turn it toward me here. Okay, I think that's a good size. I don't think I want to add any more. Let me look and see how big my other one was. I had on there before. Yeah, I just had 4 loops on this one too. Now, I do want some tails, though, going different directions. I want some of them coming down, probably 2 of them kind of falling over the greenery, and then I want a couple over on the other side. So I'm going to make one more loop, and I'm going to make it extra big, kind of exaggerate it. I'm going to bring it back to the back just like we did. I'm going to pinch it, and then I'm going to twist it. Now this will be my 2 loops hanging down. This one I'm going to trim, and we can position it however we want. So let me get a pipe cleaner. I forgot to get one of those out. And I'm just going to take this pipe cleaner. This is what I'm seeing right there. I'm going to take that pipe cleaner. I'm going to run it right by the meat of my hands, or palm of my thumb, I mean. Right there by my thumb. And it'll be coming out through my middle finger and my pointer. All right, now I'm just going to take this right over the top. Oop. And I'm looking at my bow, and I think I've got one of my loops is a little bit large, so I'm going to try and fix that right now before we go on. Where's my other? There. And I just real gently pull until I figure out where, which loop is moving. And actually it was the last loop I did, so that worked out good. But you just work through and start pulling until you find the one that moves your ribbon. Okay? All right, now I'm just going to take that and I'm going to tighten it down. All right, and there's my 2 loops that are going to be hanging down over the greenery. Or my 2 tails, I mean. And I don't need them quite that long, but go ahead and trim that off. So that's what we have so far. Just a little pretty red velvet bow. And like I said, if I had a small black and white houndstooth, I'd add that, but I do not. So we're going to work with what we have. I'm going to bring this over here now. And I'm going to show you how I'm going to attach this. I don't want to tie this around the base of this because it's going to be visible. I mean, I could do that and then maybe hide it with some greenery or something, but I've actually got a little floral foam. I'm just going to tack it down into there. There's a couple of ways you can do that. First way, I'm going to just take this and twist, make a stalk on it. So I've got something to grab onto. I said a couple. There's more than that too. If you wanted to, what I'm going to do, I'm going to put a steel pick on here and then just insert it into my foam. If you don't have a pick machine, you could also put, you know, those, the floral pins. They look like a pipe or a pin. Oh, good grief! I can't talk, you guys. They look like like half of a paper clip. You could put one of those down over that and stick it in the foam. You could also use a floral pick and attach it to that stem there, and stick it down there. I'm going to use my steel pick machine. I'm going to put it on there now, and I'm going to show you what I mean. It just looks like a little harpoon here, if you guys can see it. Okay, and that's going to allow me to stick this down in there. So I'm going to dip this in some glue, try and keep my ribbon out of the glue. And I'm going to get it started, and then I'm going to push it down in there with my pliers. These steel picks are very sharp, and I don't like to be putting any force on there with my bare hands because your hands can slip and then you can cut yourself pretty good and not even know it. I've done that before with these. Okay, we got that extra long loop. I told you I felt like I wanted some loops or some tails going someplace else too. And let's set this up here. Maybe that'll stand on there. No, it won't. Okay, we'll just work on the ground here. And if you guys have any questions, go ahead and put them in the comments. I'll come back here as soon as I get this part done and see if I can answer any questions. I'm going to go ahead now and I'm going to trim our tails. I don't want them terribly long, and I'm just going to cut them at an angle. If you want to dovetail it, you could. Make that a little longer. And then for the tails up here, I'm just going to take this big loop and I'm going to trim it. One side I'm going to make a little bit longer than the other. I want this side to be the longer side. Let's see what I've got here. And I'm cutting it just a little bit, maybe an inch longer on that side. Let's cut that at an angle. And this one, I want it kind of falling off to the back here. Okay. All right, now I don't want to just leave it like this. It just looks kind of like a naked bow. I mean, you could if you wanted to, but I like to dress them up a little bit. So I'm just going to go in here, and on my other one, I had this leftover greenery. Let me see what that looks like. I'm going to go ahead and put this pine cone. I've got all these pine cones up here. I don't know if you can see it or not, but I've got all these pine cones up here. So I'm going to try to bring this down to the bottom. Now I'm just going to dip this right in the glue. And before you do this, you want to make sure you're happy with where your loops are and what they look like. Make sure everything's fluffed well. I'm just going to stick that right down there in the middle. And then let's give this a little bit of a curl. And I'm going to come in here and add a little bit more greenery. Again, I'm going to use what I have left over. Trying to do this backwards, you guys. I'm going to stick a little bit down here. And I'm just gluing that right to, right in between the ribbon there. And sometimes you can use this to actually hold your bow loops open. Let me see. I need some right there. I got one more piece here. You don't want to overdo this part, but I do want to separate out these tails here a little bit, so I'm going to stick that underneath of there, just to give it a little bit more of a 3D look. Okay, all right, so that's what I've got so far. Okay, I'm going to take a second here and look and see if I have any questions. Oh gosh, you guys, thanks for all the follows. I appreciate it. Hill Tag from Georgia. I love Georgia. We got D in Pennsylvania, Shelby in Virginia Beach. Thank you guys. Thank you for all the likes. Let me check over here. Let me see if I can find. Oh, good for you, Christine. Christine sold 6 bows this week. Good deal. I tell you, bows sell. Hey, Valerie. Did I make the birdhouse tree? I bought the birdhouse and then I dressed it up. But yeah, I got this birdhouse at Hobby Lobby. I saw them. They still have them this year. Hey, Christine. Thank you, Barbara. Oh, Debbie's asking, did I already tell where you got the birdhouse? No, I got this at Hobby Lobby. But then, like I said, they don't come this way. I dress it up. You know how I do. I can't leave anything alone. Hey, Berlene, Debbie. Oh, thank you, Jean. Okay, I'm going to put just a little bit more greenery. What I've got here is pretty plastic looking. It didn't show that way so much on the with the buffalo check ribbon for some reason, but does a little bit more, maybe because of the red velvet's a little bit more formal. But I did pull some other greens that I thought looked pretty similar to what I've got up on top. I'm just going to clip off a little bit here. But yeah, I always tell people in my wreath making group, when I'm out shopping, I'm always on the prowl trying to find things that I can dress up and make my own. Like this birdhouse is one example. But even, when I'm in the grocery store, if I'm at Lowe's or Menards, any of those places, Walmart, I'm always looking for things to dress up. And I just want to add just a little bit more silk greenery other than that plastic look there. Yeah. See if I can get down to the foam. I can. And a lot of what I used to make this, you guys, was just scraps. This time of year, I'm trying to use things up, so I'm not carrying them forward to next year. And so I just try to look around and see what I can do. Okay, I don't want to overdo it. Like I said, I just want to put a couple of pieces here that don't look so plastic. And I just kind of play around with this until I find a place I like. I think that looks good right there. I think we need a little piece back here in the back too. Okay, let me look at it here. Yeah. And that'll also help hold my bow loop forward. This one, I want that up a little taller. Okay. All right. So I think that one looks good. And as I said, I mean, I probably wouldn't put a bow on the same side over here. I'd probably bring one over top. Look here. If you wanted to, you could put one back here somewhere, like even off of the, top of the house or something. But I'm just going to leave it at that and see how I like it sitting by our Christmas tree upstairs. So that's the first thing I wanted to do. All right, let me see if I have any other questions. Thank you for all the follows. Thank you, and the likes. Thank you so much. Thank you, Barbara. Okay, all right, and then the other one I have is this. This is a design. We actually made this in our group last year. And again, it has the buffalo plaid, and I wanted to replace this. So, and this will need just a little bit larger bow, probably, just because of the scale of it. And this also was something I got and I dressed it up. But I'm just going to put a bow right there, again with the same red velvet. I used 2.5-inch red velvet in our Christmas tree, in our compromise tree, I should say. So let's make this bow again. And again, I'm just measuring out measuring out what I think I need, and plus a little bit. I always make it a little bit larger as far as the tails. Okay. And this is, we're going to do the same thing we did last time. I'm going to pinch it. I'm going to bring it back to the back. I'm going to try it on for size. Now I've also got to figure I'm going to be sticking it down in the foam too, so I need to make it a little bit larger than what I think. So I think that size looks good. All right, so I've got my loop. All right, I'm going to twist it. Make sure you twist it all the way around. I'm going to bring it back to the back. I'm going to pinch it, twist it. I should have seen if my bow loops were even. I think they look pretty good. A little bit more ribbon. All right, so I've already got the right side of the ribbon showing to me. I'm going to bring it back to the back, pinch it, let's check our loops. I'm a little bit short. I'm just going to ease just a little bit there. Okay, I'm going to twist it, I'm going to bring it back to the back. I'm going to pinch it. I'm going to twist it. I'm just repeating the process. Bring it back to the back. Let me see how many loops I want. I think that looks good. I think I'm going to leave it there. I think I'm going to make 5 loops on this one to kind of have this effect, where it's going to be a little bit larger on one side and kind of diagonal. So let's go ahead and I don't want any tails going up over the top on this one. All right, so I finished that loop. Where am I? All right, so I need to twist it. And I've got my other tail. Now on this, since I've got an odd number of loops, I'm going to have my tails are both going to come off the same side. But if you're using a good wired ribbon, that won't matter. We can put it however we want. So I'm going to go ahead and get my other pipe cleaner here. And again, I'm going to run it back there by the meat of my palm, meat of my thumb. It's going to come out between my pointer and my middle finger. I'm going to bring that around the top. I want to twist. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to fix. I didn't get all of my twists complete. So I'm going to go ahead and fix that now. Okay. All right, and trim off our tail. Okay, so that's what we've got so far. And I'll show you how to insert this if you're going to use a floral pick, if you don't have a steel pick machine. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to twist it down, make a stalk. Usually for this, I make a little bit longer of a stalk. Just something so that you've got somewhere to attach it, just like a floral stem. And we'll take a, well, actually, I'll go ahead and trim this off. So we've got that little stalk left. I'm going to take this floral pin, or floral pick, wooden floral pick. I'm just going to lay that right beside that. You can see that. And it has this wire. You probably can't see that. It's pretty thin. And I'm just going to take that and wrap that around that pipe cleaner now. I usually go up and down, go down to the bottom of the stalk and then go back up. And then you're going to need some floral tape so it stays where it needs to. That's floral tape. Floral tape is not sticky until you pull it. And then that activates the adhesive. We're just going to go down there. I usually go back and forth a few times. Just wrap it right over the top of that wire. And then I just tear it off. So now I've got something I can stick down into the foam. And I don't need it near that long, but these were the shortest floral picks I had. Let me see where my foam is, how deep it is. I can't remember what I did to put this together. Find my foam. There it is. Okay. Well, I tell you what, I think I might need it that long because my foam actually, I didn't put foam up here. I don't know why I didn't do that, but I'm going to need it to go over that way. So I'm just going to drop this in the glue. Again, I'm going to try to keep my ribbon out of the glue. I always say that because you can imagine I've done it a million times. Now I'm just going to insert that in the foam. Fluff out my bow. Actually, you know what? I want my bow to come over a little bit further than that. Let me pull that out here. I'm going to cut this down just a little bit. Okay, there we go. Now we'll go through the same process. I'm just going to fluff this out. I'm going to put a little bit of greenery in it, like I did the other one. Cut our ribbon at an angle. I'm just fluffing this out. This would be a quick way if you want to make a gift for somebody too, but that's what we've got so far. Thank you for the hearts and the likes. Thank you. I want to see if there's any questions I'm missing. Oh, thank you, Barbara. Hey, Ethel May, like the Cardinals. Ethel May, did you get your situation getting in that tutorial? Did that fix that, or have you tried? I sent you an email. Let me know if you're still having trouble. So, all right, now let's go ahead and kind of dress this up a little bit too, just like we did the other one. I want this to have a little bit of greenery there. It's going to hold that loop open. And we'll put this greenery through here. Well, it's not going to work. No. I was going to say to hold it back that way, but it's not. Well, yeah, it will. Just use that greenery to hold our ribbon loops where we want them. All right, let's see what I've got here. This one has a little bit of this eucalyptus sprinkled through it. Actually, looks a little bit different though. Let me see what else I've got. Okay, I've got some of this greenery in there, so we'll use some of that. And if I wanted to, I could stick a pine cone down in here, but I don't think I want to this time. I want to just use some greenery. Trim off this little stem here. Okay, I'm just going to do like I did before, just start gluing. Again, at this point, you want to make sure you got your bow loops where you want them. Oh, that looks odd to me for some reason. There, that looks better. Some of them a little bit shorter. All right, and I want something a little bit different to put here in the center. Let me see what I got. I don't like that. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to find one I can steal from over here. See if I've got something that looks a little bit too long or something I can put right there in the center. And that just makes the bow look more incorporated into the design rather than just looking like it's just stuck on there. Find another piece. Got it kind of crowded over here, so we can use one of these. Okay. All right. I think we're done. And if you wanted to put more loops in there, you could. In fact, if I wanted to put one even now, I could go back and I'm looking over here. I'm almost feeling like it needs a loop over here in this hole. I'm looking to see if I have any foam. Oh, it does. I'm going to make another loop just to stick right there. I just made a loop just like this. I'm just going to trim it off. Okay, and I'm going to put a little piece of pipe cleaner around this and then put a steel pick on it. Just like we did before. I just think it needed that 6th loop. Oh, thank you, Sharon. Hey, Eve, how are you? All right, so go ahead and trim that. Get me a steel pick. And again, I'm going to use my pliers to get that down in there. Gee, is that going to be too long? think it'll work. I was just looking at it. It looked like it might be a little bit too long, but we can always change our minds. There. Perfect. I've got a little greenery right there. I just want to wrap it around that greenery. Okay. All right, so we just added another loop without having to make the whole bow over. So, okay. All right, I think that's it. Let me see if I have any other questions. Hey, Sharon. Yes, Julie, welcome. Janice wanted to know where I got my t-shirt, and I got this from a place called what is it? Belili? I think it is. It's online. I've seen a lot of them on Etsy too. But I got this one from Belili. It's B-L-L or B-E-L-L-I-L-Y, I think. Belili. Online. I hardly ever go to shop in stores anymore. Thank you guys so much for all the kind words. So, and thank you for letting me finish my my work. Like I said, I was thinking I'm not going to have time to go live, but I had to do bows anyway. So now I can do both, still make the hubs happy. So that's all I have for you today. Again, thank you so much for being here and being so kind. I really appreciate it. And I'll be live again later in the week, at least by Friday. You know, right now is our crunch time, fourth quarter. It's all, you know, it's like willy-nilly, just running around the shop trying to keep things going. So, but anyway, have a great rest of your day. And if you have any questions that I didn't answer for you here, be sure and let me know. And I'll try to help you as best I can. And I will catch you next time. Bye-bye.